Folks, welcome back. We are live once again on another Friday for the Friday Night Flagship, and we have our good friend Cy back this week after a week off.
Okay.
Back in Illinois, Ross Epp,
Mhm.
after a nice move from the once proud state of Texas. Give him one last shot on the way out. I guess we'll start with you, Cy. How are we feeling this week?
Oh, boys, it's been a very eventful time. For those who don't know, I did the 12-hour drive, whatever you want to call it, from Texas back up here to Illinois, back with the family, back with the friends, getting myself reacclimated to the Midwest. It was really nice past 2 days, and then I woke up today and it was 10 degrees, and I was like, okay, cool. Welcome. Now I feel like I'm at home, but life is
Welcome
good.
home.
Life is yeah, welcome home for real. But life is good. Just got the keys to my new apartment today. Not there now. At the parents' house right now. Nothing set up in there. No Wi-Fi, things like that. Kind of need Wi-Fi to do a show like this, but we're good. We're great. Life's good. Job hunting right now, but no complaints over here, boys. No complaints.
I guess we'll move things on to Kenny now. So, Kenny, big week for USA Hockey. I know you were just talking pre-show. You were doing the right thing, I would say, and teaching
Educating the youth.
educating the youth about Hockey East supremacy in the Olympics.
Yeah. So, go ahead. Sorry.
How's it going?
It's great. I still teach. Still doing the teaching thing, but it's definitely about showing them the historic moments in U.S. hockey and how great world competition can be. So that's my in for showing Olympic hockey. We watched the gold medal game yesterday for the women's U.S. team, which is awesome. Today we watched both semifinal games. And for being a soccer school, the kids are asking some really good hockey questions. Jack, I gave credit where credit's due. The question was, what's the best college to go to if you want to play hockey? And I said, you have to go right now. You have to go to Boston University. You have to go to BU.
Anywhere in the Hockey East, but preferably BU. Fuck BC.
Exactly. And then I did give some credit to Penn State because they got McKenna, and then I gave a lot of credit to Minnesota for their previous years of outstanding hockey. But yes, right now you got to go BU.
Listen, the facts are the facts. All you gotta do, ignore the final result of the Natty last year. Again, we don't talk about the Natty from last year, but everything before that, and the fact that again, Macklin Celebrini, the best player on the planet, decided to do the right thing, leave that hellhole known as Vancouver, British Columbia, decided to play his last bit of amateur hockey at again the greatest university in the world. Don't take my word for it. Take people like I don't know, Martin Luther King Jr., the guy who invented the friggin' the telephone. You understand? Alexander Graham Bell. Remember him?
Yeah.
He went to BU. I got some of the greatest minds, and regrettably, Bill O'Reilly have graduated from BU.
Every school's got its pluses and minuses.
It's unfortunate, but it's true. But we kind of alluded to it. Folks, the United States women's hockey team taking home gold yesterday. Megan Keller, regrettably of BU fame, but again, her brother, Clayton Keller, of course, a BU alum, but nevertheless, a huge win for the United States women's team, their third ever gold, and in their first, I believe, since 2018.
I believe so, yeah. Yeah, it's been a minute.
But what an incredible game that was. Kenny, I guess I'll throw it to you here first. What'd you think of the game in general yesterday? Because I didn't get a chance to see all of it. I saw the wide majority of it.
Yeah, so I thought it was a fantastic matchup. Again, it's the arch rivals of hockey, right? You have Canada invented the sport. United States is most of the time is the up and coming team, kind of the upstart team. But man, this U.S. team with led by Hillary Knight, I think this was her fifth Olympic too. So it's 20 years of hockey in the Olympics is fantastic. It's just that team is something else. There's a ton of speed on that team. The goaltending is even really good, although it's a little suspect for the men's, but the women's goaltending is phenomenal right now. So,
Jacob,
yeah, it was a great game to watch.
We're trying to sell the greatest university in the world. Let me cook. Kenny, please continue.
And then, like I said, then you look at Canada and you see all that young, and they're the young, talented squad, right? So that's going to be, I think this is going to be a rivalry that's going to continue all the way into, Utah in 20, I think it's 34. You're going to see a huge matchup. Yeah, I think next one is the Swiss, or is it Swiss Alps or something like that for the next one. But yeah, 2034 back in Utah. It's going to be amazing to watch that because Canada's going to be full of veterans at that point. It's going to be real fascinating.
I mean, I feel like we can't really talk about the women's team without talking about Hillary Knight, who's been really the backbone of U.S. women's hockey for really the last at least 15 years, give or take. And of course, she ended up getting the game-tying goal with the goalie pulled, which again not only tied the game and set up overtime. That was the goal that put her atop all alone for the most goals in Olympic action for a U.S. women's hockey player. And I mean, obviously not really a household name, obviously in women's hockey or in the grand sense of things, but a titan in women's hockey out of Wisconsin. And I believe she's now the captain of the Seattle Storm in the PWHL, I believe it is.
Yep.
I mean, an absolute legend. And I think it was, if that was it for her, I mean, I don't think you can really ask for a better way to go out than that.
No, not at all. Like you said, she's the titan of the sport right now. She's probably going to be going down as one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time. Not a lot of names come up when you talk about women's hockey that are that surpass her in terms of talent, but also leadership, right? It's that leadership quality that she brings to it. Almost akin to Sidney Crosby for the men's Canadian team, but she's definitely up there in terms of all the talent. All the accolades that she's due. Everybody should give her all the credit in the world because she's a grinder too. She's great.
And now we'll get back to Keller. Sai, did you see the goal that she scored to win gold?
It was she went all the way across, had to do like a crossover or something. Like it looked crazy, especially for it being the game tying. It was
No, game winning, the overtime winner.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I meant to say. Was I'm not the biggest hockey person. I'm gonna let the record show, but I've watched enough to know that when something that looks crazy that shouldn't happens, I can sit back and observe and be like, wow, that's crazy. And that goal is exactly what I did. I didn't watch the game live, but I will pull up Twitter. The first thing I see is I see Fox about 4 straight highlights of different angles of her goal, and I'm just like, wow, and especially with this, probably this, knock on wood, but this is probably going to be her last one, and then that's how she's going to go out on top of the world. That's
Knight. Keller's in the prime of her career. She's the captain of the Boston.
Yada yada. I'm mixing up names over here. All right, hand up, but
it's okay.
No, it was
insane. That's good. You're
insane.
good.
Insane goal, insane shot. Wish I could do that personally, but put me and ice together does not go together. But it was insane, absolutely insane.
I mean, circumstances permitting, that's one of the greatest goals I've ever seen. I don't know how you get much better than, again, obviously, we can talk about the 3v3 element of this in a few minutes. I feel like me and Kenny are probably on the same boat here, but I mean, down ice pass to then make that move and then finish it off is insane. The only other thing I can maybe compare that to, and this is obviously, this doesn't sound like me being a Boston homer, but the goal. Kenny, you remember seeing the David Pastrnak goal? Game 7 in overtime against the Maple Leafs. I think it was in 2023.
23, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was kind of it felt like that.
Yeah.
Like a perfect, we're talking at least 100-foot pass right on the tape. And I mean, for her to effectively shake and bake like that in that moment is insane to me.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about how Sai was saying, how much talent goes into that, and just the ability to take that 100-foot pass, tape to tape, line it up, do your move, and get it into the back of the net. I mean, it's a thing of beauty, and that's why I like hockey so much. Is that it's just, for as tough and gritty of a sport it is, it's also a beautiful sport. It's a lot of flying and moving parts, and then it comes all together at the end for that goal, and see the lamp light up. It's fantastic. I love it. I love hockey. Can't get enough of it.
Can I get better than that? Can I get better than the call that Kenny Albert had on that goal? Really on the game-tying goal as well.
He's a legend too. He needs some accolades too for his run in this Olympics. I think he's called every game for both men and women. He's just been amazing. I love listening to Kenny Albert.
I mean, for as great as his dad was in general, Marv Albert, I think he's one of the most underappreciated big game sports commentators of all time.
Yeah, versatile too. He can do multiple sports. I think he's
he's done everything.
And as a homer, I love Eddie Olczyk, making the color commentating too. Eddie O's always been one of my heroes in Chicago. So yeah, it's good to see that.
Yeah, I mean, what a game, what a moment. I'm very excited for Keller because actually, I think the Boston Fleet, their first game coming back, is going to be in TD Garden.
Ooh.
And even before these Olympics, that game was completely sold out, like 18,000 plus. So that is going to be a moment for her.
That's going to be loud.
That is going to be a moment, I promise you that. But shout out to the U.S. women's team. Now we'll get to the U.S. men's team, which kind of had a easier than expected road to the gold medal game after today. Of course, they thoroughly dispatched the Slovakian national team. I believe the final was 6-2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I didn't catch like the very end, but I didn't know if Slovakia scored an extra goal or not. But the game preceding that, the game against Sweden, that game was as much of a nail biter as I think anyone probably would have expected. Of course, the Swedish national team is exceptional. Really, all the Scandinavian nations are, for the most part, are pretty good at hockey. And again, you saw that with Finland as well. They almost beat Canada today to get into the gold medal game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But again, this is I can't really say I remember much about like the 2010 Olympics outside of the gold medal game, but like on the men's side, these games are incredible. The entire way. We had 3 of the 4 quarterfinal games go into overtime.
Yeah.
Again, the Canada-Finland game from earlier today. Like, this is, like, how could you not love this if you're a hockey fan?
To me, it's the marquee of the Winter Olympics, right? It's the event of the Olympics. And then when you get a ton of great nations doing their thing, you can argue, should Russia be involved in the Olympics being such a hockey forward nation? Is it truly best on best? I get the conversation, and I know where I stand on it personally, but it's just amazing to watch all the talent from all across the world play this sport. Then you get, like you said, the Scandinavian nations, and then you get the powerhouse. Canada is just electric to watch 99% of the time. The only question mark is goaltending. And really, like Sweden, I honestly thought Sweden would have a chance. I really did. I thought Sweden had an outside chance of beating the United States. I like Sweden's goaltending a little bit more than the United States. Jacob Markstrom, a New Jersey Devil, I think he's an underrated goaltender. And it was a scary moment. I really thought that Sweden might be able to pull that one out. And then you go to Finland, Canada today. Wow, just unbelievable
I feel
hockey.
horrible for Saros, man. He played incredible.
He's another one. He deserves a gold medal, but he had a rough game. It was tough. It was a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, and actually, I'm glad you brought up the Sweden game, and obviously we can kind of tie this into the U.S.-Canada women's game. 3v3 overtime to the side of an Olympic gold medal is just
no.
I don't think there are enough words in the dictionary for me to condemn it, to say how much I abhor it. It's unholy. There's no other way to put it. If you're a Canadian hockey fan, I do not blame you in the slightest if you're mad about that in terms of the context of losing the women's gold. I empathize with you there entirely. 3v3 to the side, the Olympic gold medal is like I don't have words. There are no words.
Maybe in group play. I could see it maybe in group play, like how the NHL. And I personally hate 3-on-3 at any time, but I'm okay with the NHL regular season 3-on-3, then a shootout. But if you're not going to a shootout, if you're going to go continuous until you find a winner, it's got to be full strength. You have to go 5-on-5. You have to be able to set up your plays the right way. I mean, that's what hockey's designed for, is 5-on-5.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's terrible. An abomination, I think, is the perfect word for it.
It's a stain on this great sport, this great game, the beautiful game, is what they call it, Kenny. And it's a shame. It's truly a shame. And my big fear now is that it's going to come down to that tomorrow, and Canada's going to end up winning like 5 seconds in. I can feel it in my bones. Or it should be Sunday, rather not tomorrow, or the bronze medal game. But nevertheless, but man, I'm 3v3 overtime. Just
it's bad.
I mean, I think Canada would definitely have more power 3v3. I think they have more offensive, defensive players. right? Which you still need. You need to put out your two defensive players in that kind of situation to protect, right? Because you're basically
Yeah,
playing man on man in that situation. So you need to have two defenders. But yeah, you
yeah, you
put
got Kill McCarr, so they're all
yeah,
set.
you're fine. You're fine. And then
Perfect.
US is good on defense, but their defensive player like it's Quinn Hughes and maybe Charlie McAvoy. It can maybe get you a point. But yeah, I definitely if it goes to OT, I think it definitely starts to favor the Canadians for sure.
Speaking of Quinn Hughes, why is he not the captain of this team? What?
No idea.
The fact that the captain of the U.S. national team is the captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs, that's so wrong.
And
Speaking of things that are wrong about this great sport, Austin Matthews, who, keep in mind, has only ever made it out of the first round of the NHL playoffs once.
Here it is. Here it is. I was waiting for this.
This guy is
I'm a
supposed to
true
lead us
Bruins
to
fan
goals.
right here.
This guy? I don't like it. He's practically
As
Canadian,
much
sleeper agent. I don't like it.
as
Get him out
well,
of
then
here.
you could say the same thing about Jack Hughes, but you know, because he's dating what Tate McRae.
No, listen. Let him cook. Let him cook.
Oh no, he should by all means. I would, as much as I love to hate the Chuck brothers, I would give the C to Brady.
Yeah,
I
no,
know that
again, he made the right
early
decision.
on,
He went to the right collegiate program, unlike certain people.
and he's feisty. He gets in your face, and you see him on the bench. You see him whenever he's sitting on the bench. He's yelling at everybody. He's trying to amp everybody up. I think that's the kind of leadership Team USA needs. I think Austin Matthews is a good captain for the Maple Leafs, but I think the United States, as braggadocious as we can be, at least seen globally, I think that's the kind of leader that you need on the bench right now. I would have given Brady the C, as much as I hate him, and I hate the Chuck brothers.
I like Brady for obvious reasons. I'm not really a big Mac guy for obvious reasons, but I don't disagree. But Quinn Hughes, to me, that guy is a gamer.
I
mean,
love
that
Quinn
goal he
Hughes.
had to win against Sweden was, and for all the hype we're giving Megan Keller, that goal was equally as disgusting.
Yes, and motivating too. I think that propelled. I think that's what propelled them in this game. Is we did that. Quinn did that for us, and then they went out and they showed out for that. Putting up 6 goals on Slovakia is very impressive.
Yeah,
They
brother
went
Jack
out and
Hughes,
handled business.
yes, sir. I feel like we should bring this up to the medal count. So right now, no matter what way you look at it, Norway would be winning, depending on how you would count the Olympics, either by gold medals or by total medals. Norway has both at this point. Actually, yeah, no, they do. They have 37 total medals and 17 gold. The United States would be in second on total medals and on golds, with 10 golds and 29 overall. Italy would have the third most total at 27. And I think that will do it for our Olympics talk for the evening. Folks, let's just get straight into it. Kevin Durant got caught with another burner. It's very funny. Listen, it's funny. Right side, it's funny. It's objectively very funny.
It's funny, and at this point, because everybody knows this is not the first time, the fact that he keeps getting caught, he'll go low for a little bit and just nobody's thinking about it, nobody's talking about it, and when everybody expected, it's like, I'm gonna get another burner back, and we're gonna re go down this road. And the same thing keeps happening. Same thing keeps happening. But it's awesome. It's great for the sport, honestly. And the fact that he had to get publicly embarrassed on live television in the All-Star game, looking all sad and mopey. We all know why you're sad and mopey. Your burner got caught. There's no other reason why you would be sad and mopey right now. It's good for the program, honestly.
Maybe we gotta be thanking Kevin Durant for the house, because apparently the All-Star game got their best ratings in like 15 years. So thank Kevin Durant for the house. Some food for thought. No, I'm kidding. Man, he was the one that really got me was the Ben Simmons one. I don't know why, but the Ben Simmons DM that he sent for some reason killed me. Like, at least he passed me the ball. Like, who has anyone ever said the word outside of his family for obvious reasons? Man, I really miss Ben Simmons. Has anyone are those words that have ever come to anybody's mind?
I know me personally, no. I'll ball out him. I'll ball out with him on 2K, but that's a video game. This ain't real life, so no.
That and then the other one that killed me was the Harden one. I don't know if you saw this one, Si. Like, he's delusional, but I understand him now.
Yeah, you got it. You in a situation like with KD and with all the money he has, with the fluke rings that he has, you just got to sit back and admire. It's just like, okay, dude, you wanted to go to Houston, and we're talking. You're even talking about your own guys right now. What are we doing, dude? Like,
It's
actually,
Jabari Smith. It's Sengun.
yeah. Just like you wanted to go here. You could have stayed in Phoenix. You chose where you wanted to go, and you went to Houston. And now this is what we're doing now.
There's DMs about Devin Booker too. Let's get that right.
Oh! We all know that he don't like Book.
Doesn't like
That's
Book and
okay.
Vogel. He hates Frank Vogel.
Mhm.
Dude, whatever you do, free advice: do never, ever ask Kevin Durant about his thoughts on Frank Vogel.
He's gonna say a lot of words that you don't think you've ever heard before, and then it's okay. Like, and it's all right. Like,
I'm not remembering like individual like DMs he sent. I'm like, this is funnier than the last one. Then we get to the drone stuff, which is fucking like that's actually fucked up.
mhm.
We don't need to dive into that too much. That's like the actual fucked up part about all this for KD.
Yep.
But Kenny, got anything on this? Like, just
again, like Sai isn't into hockey as much. I'm not into basketball that much, but it is. You always hear like those periphery stories, and this is one of those that's like, really. And then he does it again, and it's like, okay, now, like, what is the deal? Like, what's going on here?
Like genuinely, what are we doing right
when
now?
when I was younger, actually, I have a KD jersey from almost every team he's been on, but the problem is the guy keeps switching teams like it's, laundry day. Like I can't keep up with him. I can't buy that. I can, but I shouldn't buy that.
It's not at this point. It's not worth it.
I had OKC colorway KDs when I was in high school. I loved Kevin Durant.
Right? I mean, I thought, and I loved him in Brooklyn because I was, kind of a fan of the Brooklyn Nets because of the color scheme, black and white, obviously. But yeah, it's weird. He's an odd character, it seems. And the older he's getting, the more free he's getting with that bit of odd that he's got going on. So yeah.
He's just an odd man.
I don't know why that got me, but it did.
And then, but like, here's the question I have, and like at this point, like this is where I've kind of gone to in the KD scandal. Did he make all the burners at once, and then he's just like introducing one at a time, or is this like, okay, one gets caught, we wait a little bit, okay, we're gonna go make another one? It's like that's where I'm at with this, because I'm expecting this to happen at least one more time. Something's telling me.
So I was doing some very last minute research on this before we went live.
Okay.
I just typed in KD burner, I think on my laptop search engine. And the first thing that came up was I think like the day that like the Threads app launched, is like, I made a burner on Threads, come catch it. The other thing is, this was kind of known, but he had posted the header for the burner count.
Yes.
That he got caught with. Which was like the owl. Yep. He got caught, and like so he definitely has more. There's no way he doesn't have more.
There's he's gonna wait till nobody's talking about it, and then he's gonna roll it out again.
Man,
That's how you stay relevant, right? I mean, I guess
yeah. Wait till there's no smoke. Wait till there's no smoke. You do it again. When there's smoke back, it's like, okay, like I got caught. Oops, I'm so sorry, guys.
He's off. Yeah.
He's off for a little bit. Then he's back on. It's multiple times now, guys. It's multiple times.
Unbelievable. Just
I
forgot about the Steph Curry part about this. Like it was calling out Steph Curry. You see the Michael Irving picture, where he's just like, "Yes, you know what I'm talking about." What's calling out Steph Curry, and they're looking at me like this.
It's oh my gosh, he's a national hero. Honestly, at this point, give him the Nobel Peace Prize. No one else.
For all that I can say about the NBA currently, this was wildly entertaining.
Yeah,
for sure.
Now, is that good for the league or the sport? You can be the judge of that. But was I entertained? Yeah. Did I get my money's worth out of all this the last week or so? You bet your bottom dollar.
As you should.
Speaking of dollars, this is not the segue you think it is. A guy made a ton of money on Sunday. This is something for me and Kenny. Tyler Reddick winning the Daytona 500. And winning it in very funny fashion. If you know me, you know I am not a Chase Elliott fan, like in any way, shape, or form.
You've let the record shown more times than one about that.
Him losing this race in this fashion warms my soul so much. It truly does warm my soul, Kenny.
Yeah.
fucking. This is This is like, you know what Chase Elliott is? I don't want to turn to Colin Cowherd, but I'm kind of going to turn to Colin Cowherd is for a second. You know what Chase Elliott is?
What?
He'd be like a top wrestler for a territory with no charisma, no personality, no ability to sell tickets. That's what Chase Elliott is. Might be good, but like this is the face of our sport. This is the most popular driver in our sport.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I've never really been a big. I don't hate him, but I've never been a Chase Elliott fan. I've never really thought like, oh my God, I need to watch what Chase Elliott's going to do this week. Like, I honestly like it's just. And then of course it's Daytona, so of course all that nonsense is going to happen, especially in the last couple of laps. Like it's just you're expecting it. It's almost like kind of how I watch basketball. I turn on the last 2 minutes, I catch the last 2 laps. Like that's just how it works, you know.
Let's get more in the race here in a minute. I actually didn't think it was a bad race, but like even
No,
worse
it
than
was
Chase Elliott, the
good.
fucking fans. Oh, his fucking fans suck so bad. Oh, we're gonna Sam Siren. Woo! Oh my god, I fucking hate Chase Elliott fans. For as bad as Dale Jr. fans were in the 2010s, these Chase Elliott fans are significantly worse. Significantly worse. So I don't know about you. Did you think that they were gonna throw the caution when they started wrecking after taking the white?
No, I did not. That seemed to be a bit of a surprise for me. I was not expecting that, but it ultimately, I guess it makes sense, but it's just not typical of what you see in a NASCAR event, especially a restrictor plate event like that. So I was a bit surprised.
So I was surprised that they didn't. I was totally expecting them to throw it, and you would have gotten the two nightmare scenarios for me. Either Ricky Stenhouse Jr. wins his second Daytona 500. Speaking of guys I don't like, or Chase Elliott, they're gonna wait until Chase Elliott got into the lead and then they're gonna throw it. Luckily, neither of those things happened. In my mind, unless it's like life or death, and I think it was Carson Hocevar and I believe it was William Byron. Correct me if I'm wrong. Those were the two cars that kind of got sideways going in the one.
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna throw it right then and there, but luckily, it didn't seem like they got like super. I don't think they had any like wall contact or anything like that, so just let them keep going, which in my mind is the right thing to do. Now, obviously, if they go head on with the wall or they have like significant contact, then yeah, I think obviously you throw the caution there.
Yeah.
But yeah, they let him run to the checkered, and luckily they did. Reddick threw a really good outside the inside swerve, and Elliott had no room for it, and he got wrecked by Riley Herbst for his troubles, and that was your Daytona 500.
Yeah, and once again, the pole sitter doesn't win, right? I think was it Kyle Busch made a late move and ended up getting lost in the pack and shuffled all the way to the back. So that was,
I was like, yeah, that's right.
Seems about normal for Daytona. So it's and I know it's the marquee event of NASCAR. I know it's like their version of the Super Bowl, but honestly, like to me, that kind of racing, like it's not as entertaining as it could be. And I think you really limit yourselves when you sit there and okay, we have to drive in a line, and then okay, let's all split up and try and do our thing, and then everybody gets shuffled around. I don't know. It's Daytona, and I think it's what Talladega is also a restrictor plate. Those kind of just it gets away from me a little bit.
There's a third restrictor plate track now. Take any guess.
No, I don't want to guess. I'm gonna be wrong.
It's Atlanta.
I was gonna say Atlanta too. See, I should have taken the guess.
They said, "What if we make the worst track in NASCAR even worse?" And no one objected. No one.
They're also returning to Chicagoland Speedway, which I highly disagree with, but it is what it is.
I actually like the Chicago street course race.
Yeah, the street course is actually kind of fun. It ruins the downtown area for quite a bit, but they ruined downtown.
I can't confirm. I've been in downtown when it was happening.
It's brutal.
It's bad.
But the event itself it's a great event. Yeah. It's a nice event. But yeah, now they're back at the Chicagoland Speedway, and I don't know. It was never the most impressive track to begin with for me, and then you're just going to throw them back in there, and it's, it is what it is.
Fair enough. And now, I feel like this is a good. Now, here's a real segue, Cy. Here's a real segue, but I got to throw this up real quick.
Okay. There we go.
But we're gonna start off. You know what? Every NASCAR team needs, Si.
Some good insurance.
Yeah, some good car insurance. We're gonna start with the car insurance ad this week.
Hey.
Here's to the grown-ups. Your car is now your office, stage, nursery. Sorry, Erie Insurance offers products that lots of other companies don't. That's a big deal, and it's a good deal too. And with Erie, you get your own independent agent, not a giant corporate call center or some online robot. You meet with a real person, like this.
Your local Erie agent is Building Block Insurance Group. Get a quote today at 704-464-4544.
Erie Insurance.
Man, shout out Jeff Wertepney. Saved my life. I never met him, but he saved my life. All right, now we're getting into the main event of this show. I think we should have done this. I think we should do this now because I don't know how many chances we're going to have to do this before free agency opens up here in about 3 weeks from now. It feels like we're getting really close. Like that's maybe the only good thing about the NFL season going a little longer now is that the gap between the Super Bowl and like free agency opening up is like virtually non-existent. Like it's like a month, which is fine. Like that's like the perfect amount of time. So
You're around football now.
that's what I did a week before the combine. Which you got any announcements with the combine actually?
I do, actually. So, TDT Media will be live in Indy next week for the NFL Combine. We got some credentials. I'm trying to figure out stuff on my end. This whole moving back to Illinois, not having a whole lot of money. I have enough money. I can definitely make it work. But I think we're gonna go.
Go to the Waffle House. You'll be fine.
Oh, Waffle House loves me. But I got a bunch of people. I got to know a bunch of people. I got another TT affiliated person will be down there. I know a bunch of other people are going to go down. So I think that's the announcement. We're also poetically wearing the Combine hoodie from 2024, the year of Drake May.
I was actually about to ask what year that was.
Drake May year.
Nice.
Which I mean, people can say Caleb Williams. I say Drake May. We like Drake May more around here.
I say Jared first.
Yeah. But we'll be live. The GM interviews and the coach interviews are Tuesday. I don't really care for that. The main event for me is the players, and that starts Wednesday. So I think I'll be there like Wednesday to Saturday, something like that. But that's my announcement. Will I have somebody with me? Don't know yet. We're figuring that out. But yeah,
Awesome.
We're back. We weren't there last year, so it's nice to see that we'll be repping. We'll be back. So yeah, stay tuned to next week as Friday Night Flagship will have me live from Indy. Hopefully, probably. So
That's right. Shout out to Indy.
shout out to Indy.
Always
I'm
the
gonna
city
go
you
pay
hear about. It's like this is actually like a way better city than it gets any credit for. Maybe one day we'll get down there. Maybe one day. I obviously Indy 500 subs is like a huge bucket list, but like genuinely does not sound like a bad city by any stretch of the
No,
imagination.
it's solid.
The downtown area is beautiful.
The interstates are shockingly, decently okay to navigate, even though they were doing some construction last I remember. But it's just
I-65.
Exactly. Like Kenny knows. Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yearly 500 guys. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you get it. But yeah, that's our news. So thank you, Jack, for the segue.
Hey, no problem. So now we're gonna get into the main event of the evening, the main course, if you will. I have 10 guys that I would say are, I want to say verbatim of my top 10 free agents going into this year's class. But 10 guys I think are probably the most likely to hit the open market. They're also on the upper end of the guys that will be there. So, like for example, on this list, George Pickens isn't there. I'm the closer we get to March 10th, I think he's probably going to still be a Cowboy. Daniel Jones, I think we all can kind of agree, he's probably going to stick with the Colts no matter what. But even then, there's some really good players here. So what I have here is I have 10 guys, the projected AAV according to Spotrac, and 3 teams that I think would make sense for them as potential destinations should they bounce from where they're currently at. And we're going to start with the top center on the board, Tyler Linderbaum, who, if I had to guess, I would say at least a 75% chance he's probably leaving the Ravens. Just give or take. Because center's a position I think you can probably replace easier than most on the offensive line. And again, buys AAV. They have it at $17.7 million. I actually would not be surprised if that's at least a few million higher. It's around Creed Humphrey money.
Mm-hmm.
Again, a really good zone blocking center. And with that in mind, the top destination I have for him is the Las Vegas Raiders, which is really perfect because they have Clint Kubiak coming in, who obviously likes to do a lot of zone blocking. And that's a large part of the reason why they brought in Gray Zabel in the draft in the first round. The second place I have is the Los Angeles Chargers, who, again, obviously they're going to be much better at tackle, but on the interior, it would not surprise me if they can go out of their way to get 3 new guys in the interior. They can do that.
They sucked last year.
It was not good.
Bradley Bozeman, whatever his name is, I think he was the one.
Oh, buddy, Chargers fans hate him.
Oh,
Chargers fans
I've
hate
never
him.
seen a fan base hate somebody more than him. Like, oh, it was bad.
And then the last team shares a stadium with another team I think a lot of people are projecting Linderbaum to go to, which is the Giants. I actually do not think he's a giant fit for the Giants. No pun intended.
Is that just because of Harbaugh?
Precisely. Yeah, it's because of Harbaugh. But I actually have the Jets as the third team. I believe they have Josh Myers as their center right now. I think they can clearly upgrade over him, and they have the cap to do so. So what say you guys on Tyler Linderbaum?
That's an interesting scenario. I don't hate the Jets. I just don't think. I think if we start looking at it from the would he personally want to go there perspective, right? Like if you're going to the Jets, you're not chasing a ring. Like let's just put it out there. You're not ready to chase a ring, which is more and more why I like the Raiders. I think the Raiders, with some help from Tom Brady, you're starting to see the culture starting to shift. I don't necessarily love Clint Kubiak, but I do think he's a good fit for that organization. So more and more, I'm starting to like the concept of Linderbaum to Vegas. Plus, I think they'll pay him.
So
they have the most cap in the NFL, so they absolutely can. Actually, second most behind the Titans.
Yeah.
I think so. Out of the teams we named, Chargers are definitely up there for me. Like it makes a lot of sense. It's what they need. Justin Herbert would love him. Their social media team would love him. He would be like, put him and Joe all together. That's enough for me.
And Rashawn Slater.
And Rashawn Slater, exactly. Like that's enough for me. I don't care what you do for the other 2 spots. That's enough for me. And I'm the Iowa guy here. So like this is my guy. Like he's gonna get himself a back. Like if he's getting 5 for $20 million a year, like I don't be shocked. As it's risky, but he's so good. My sleeper team, and I don't know if they'll actually do it, but Carolina Panthers to me feel sneaky. They need help on the line. I would not be shocked if, especially because I really do think they're going to stick with Bryce Young at quarterback, that they're going to be like, all right, like priority, it's we're going to keep bolstering up this line. Let's go get the best guy possible.
I wouldn't necessarily say they need help on the line, but their center, Cade Mays, is also going to be a non-insignificant player in this free agent class. So they could definitely do a 1-for-1 swap there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not a bad shout.
Mm-hmm. It's a sleeper team, but I'm honestly all in on the Chargers. It makes everything there just seems like they lined up. That seems like they're going to be the team that's definitely very, very willing. They're going to give him the money, and Linderbaum's going to want to. He's not going to go to the Jets, guys. He's not going to take the bag and run. He wants to compete. He wants to make the playoffs, and he's going to want to win. He wants a chip. I know that. So look at those teams that are like either teetering on the verge or those like already proven playoff teams. Yes, I know Chargers get bounced every year in the first round. Maybe Linderbaum can help them. Well, that's from me.
I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I think if they're the best scheme fit, I think they can pay him more than any other team in this conversation. I think the Raiders are clearly the best fit. And, I mean, just to have a guy like that, who's a really good zone blocker, again, a center with a ton of experience for, assumingly, Fernando Mendoza, there's no reason the Raiders should get outbid by anybody for Tyler Linderbaum, as long as it's not, like, super crazy. Like, if we're getting past like the $25 million a year mark, then like, yeah, I can maybe understand being a little more.
I'd say 22 is the max. I don't see him
Okay.
getting more than 20. I think 22 is the stretch. Like that's the oh wow, like somebody really needs him and they're willing to pay. Otherwise, I think I think 20 million is perfect for him.
Makes plenty of sense for the caliber player that he is.
Yeah.
All right, now we have a couple of edge rushers in the mix here. We're going to start with probably the more notable of the two, former league sack leader Trey Hendrickson, who is projected $25.5 million, despite coming off of a injury or a season shortened by injury. But again, that's had some really high sack numbers the prior 2 years. And my number one team fit for him, again, is a kind of a logical one given his relationship with Lou Anarumo, and that is the Indianapolis Colts, who will also be having Kwity Paye going into the open market. He'd be a presumable one-for-one swap. Number two would be the Buffalo Bills, who are likely losing Joey Bosa, and if they want to have like a short-term fix, there you go. Number three is the team with the most amount of cap in the NFL, and obviously has a needed edge rusher, the Tennessee Titans.
You know, the early things I saw were all Colts, and I could really see that. And I saw briefly somebody mentioned the Commanders, and I almost laughed that completely to the side. Like that just doesn't make a ton of sense to me. Maybe I'm not right on that. I love the Colts for this. I think that's going to be a smart move. I don't know if it's a short-term deal or if it's one that puts the Colts back into real serious contention in the South. But for some reason, the Colts sounds like a magic landing spot for him.
I agree. I agree with that statement. Him on one edge, the Latu on the other edge, feed families. That's two great edge rushers that I would pay some good money to see. Definitely can see the Bills getting sneaky with it. However, this is how I'm going to look at it. A longer term deal, Colts. Short term deal with higher AAV, which even then I think 25.5, especially coming off the season you had. I personally think that's a lot, but especially if Bosa back to Buffalo, I can see them going, all right, here's two for 60. We're gonna go win a chip now.
I think what it might ultimately come down to is there going to be a team that's going to be willing to give them like a legitimate third year, even if the guarantees aren't fully there. And if I'm a team like the Bills that's kind of desperate, I would do that. Again, it might not age well, kind of like with the Von Miller deal, but
yeah.
Of these three, I feel like Indianapolis makes the most sense, again, clearly because of the Anarumo connection.
Yeah.
And they have some money coming off the books. There's reports that they might be cutting Michael Pittman, which I think would cut about $20 million off of their cap number, which is huge. Again, also interesting, and another guy in that receiver room we're going to talk about in a little bit later, that's Alec Pierce. But I think they would clearly make the most amount of sense, but I would not be surprised at all if he ends up in Orchard Park by any stretch of the imagination. And that's going to bring us to another edge rusher, a guy who I've been a big fan of ever since he was at Miami. That's Jalen Phillips. We actually had a pretty decent stint with the Eagles after the deadline. Had that, I think, 5 pressure sack and a half game against the Packers on Monday night.
Yeah.
It was mostly 5 from there on out. I think the big issue with him was the pressures weren't really converting to sacks as much as you would probably want. But he did finish 11th in the entire league in pressures, which is still really, really good. My 3 best fits for him, again, is projected AAV, $17.3 million. I could definitely see that being higher or lower, depending on how certain teams view him. Number one, I'd go with the Tennessee Titans. They can, again, outbid anybody. They need an edge rusher, and I would be interested to see him in a solid scheme, to be perfectly honest. Number 2 would be the New England Patriots, who could use another edge with Caleb Von Chason potentially coming off the books. And I think if his market lowers, I think they'll definitely be in on him. If not, I think he probably falls to the number 3, or they fall to the third option here. And the last option that I'll give you is the Baltimore Ravens, who are they should be in the market for another edge rusher. Like, they have to be. I think he'd make a ton of sense.
Yeah, I think, once again, you start looking at fits, you start looking at who can pay what. I don't know the Ravens cap space. I don't know if the Ravens are going to be able to fork over that kind of cash for the type of player that Phillips is. I would still kind of lean towards Tennessee. I do like the concept of him in the scheme fit, right, with Soleil. Um, but yeah, I want to say Ravens, but to me it feels like a better fit in Tennessee. I really think he'll be a Titan.
I like how you mentioned that the market drops. New England can be on it. I 17 feels like a lot. The number I had in my head was around like 12. Honestly, he yes, like the flashes were really good when he went to Philly, but he was also more. It was him and Jalen Hunt were honestly rotational for that defense for
I
the
know.
most part. Yes, exactly. But I can definitely see a world where, like I said, if he drops low, New England can eat that up anywhere from like that 12 to 15 range is what I would feel comfortable paying Phillips. But I do him in Tennessee is that's interesting, and I like that, and especially if Jeffrey Simmons still stays, like that's something that I can get excited to watch for a team that's dwindling, and that for a team that's going to lose twice a year to the Jaguars. So I'll take that.
I mean, listen, you bring in Phillips to draft potentially Arbel Reese or Ruben Bain. You're cooking with gas up front, and that's why I
Win
say
in
I
the
think
trenches.
Tennessee is probably where I would lean with Phillips. Next, we're going to go with the guy who, if I'm ranking these 10 guys 1 to 10, this guy's definitely 10. And I would probably say this is a very similar situation to Dan Moore last year, who got paid bank by the very same Tennessee Titans that we just talked about. This is Rasheed Walker of the world famous Green Bay Packers. He is projected to get $20 million, man. $20 million.
It's too much money.
Far too much money.
Way too much money.
I don't even have
Yeah.
fits for him.
Hey,
Because, like,
I
I have a fit. Can I start this one out? I'm just gonna give one team and one reason. Cleveland Browns. They're losing everybody. That's someone who could take a flyer. Give him 2 for 15. Call it good.
15
yeah.
per, 15 total.
15. I mean, truthfully, 15 total. Realistically, 15 per.
Like, I don't know how there are NFL GMs.
I don't know what this market's gonna look like.
Listen, we can try to get Mason Thompson on this. I would love to get Mason Thompson on this. I want to ask him about Josh Myers. He's like the biggest Josh Myers fan I know, but we'll get to that. But Rasheed Walker. But like GMs around the league saw the Titans give Dan Moore $22 million, Kenny?
Yeah, I believe it was in that. Yep.
Just, how can this be happening again? Like this is the older I get, I truly believe I could be an NFL GM, a passable NFL GM.
It's known as a copycat league, and most teams don't learn from their mistakes, right? You only have a few high caliber teams that, one, do very well, and two, do it consistently, and that's why you have situations like this for Rasheed Walker. I don't know if I rag on him as much as you guys will, but I definitely don't see a great fit for him, and that's why I agree with Seth. I think Cleveland, just because they're about to lose all 5 of their starters, it makes the most sense that Cleveland's going to go out in desperation mode and say, all right, take the 22 million, please come to Cleveland and protect one of our 4 quarterbacks. It's a bad situation for pretty much everybody involved. Another one I laughed at was I read somewhere that it was going to be maybe Detroit. That makes zero sense. That makes less sense than Phillips. Like it just
That actually makes some level of sense because there's some reports that Taylor Decker may retire. And if that happens, I can maybe see that. Would it be good? No.
But
Could he stopgap? Yes.
Potentially.
It's shaky. I mean, if
But
I leave
also,
it,
the whole Decker retiring thing, though, like I think Decker would do the organization a favor and announce, let them know beforehand before it becomes a thing, so they had time to organize, plan, and figure this out. Like all of a sudden, you're going to be rushed into Rasheed Walker. I don't know. I don't know. That
Steve, help
seems
us. They're kicking Jared Goff's ass in the quote tweets.
Okay, I'm gonna give one more.
Could
sleeper
you
team.
imagine if that was a team's pitch?
right.
One more sleeper team purely on the fact of they could. Arizona Cardinals, maybe they could see something. They could be like, okay, a little bit of like a
I don't see it.
reformation project, for lack of better terms. I mean, it's just I'm thinking of teams that are kind of, with all respect to Steve Walker, he's probably
I
gonna
don't,
go
I
get
don't know
money.
any reclamation projects that are getting $20 million a year that are quarterbacks.
Rashid Walker is a reclamation project that's gonna get
That's
them
it.
money as like,
Maybe
let's
the
figure it
first.
out.
Well,
Like
it's not a
we could do
reclamation
this. Like
though.
we
That's
could
going to
do
be
this.
a mistake.
That's what many are saying.
If they don't learn from Dan Moore, they'll learn from Rashid Walker. Next.
We're off to another offensive lineman here, and this would probably be my at worst number 2 lineman on the board. This is Bills guard David Edwards, who's had the best year of his career in Buffalo. Of course, I believe he was a starting right guard on the Rams team that won the Super Bowl back in 2021. His numbers are a little bit all over the place. I saw Spotrac has him at about 20 million. I saw PFF did a thing. They had him at about 15. So I think he's probably going to end up somewhere in the middle of there. But this is a really good guard. My top 5 for him, and it pains me to say this, is the Pittsburgh Steelers, who could be losing Isaac Seumalo, who had a really good year for them, but is 31. Again, Edwards is, I believe, 28, so you're not getting super younger. But if you want to fork up the cash, I think you're getting a really good guard. Second team, another guard-needy team, the New Orleans Saints. Are they $41 million over the cap? Yes. Does the league allow them to operate over the cap without any sort of penalties? Also, yes. So they'll find some way to give them like an insane amount of front-loaded money, and then the league won't bat an eye. Please arrest Mickey Loomis, I'm begging you. And the number 3 team is the aforementioned Los Angeles Chargers, who again need so much help in the interior. It's not even funny.
Yeah, unfortunately I lean towards the Chargers on this one. This is where I kind of see the Chargers making a little bit more sense. Not even necessarily scheme wise, just willingness to pay that kind of money, willingness to go after that caliber of guard. So yeah, LA makes the most sense to me. But then you throw out New Orleans, right? And they've learned that you can't get penalized for spending stupid money on stupid things. So I don't know. I guess it could be New Orleans, but I really think it's going to be Los Angeles. I think it'll be the Chargers.
Please arrest Mickey Loomis, I'm begging you. Sai, what do you got?
It's so Chargers are bound to get Chargers will get one person for sure, if not 2. I do like the world where he can easily go slide in that right guard, left guard spot and just hold it down, be Mr. Reliable. And no one mentioned it, but I definitely at this point, yes. But I wouldn't hate if there's a world where he can go back to Buffalo. I don't know. I don't know what people are saying on that. I think it's very
I don't know.
unlikely.
I don't
But
think they got
can
the
see it,
cash
but they'll
for
have to
that.
move some money around.
yeah, that's the issue. Unless he takes like a discount, but he's not going to. He's gonna want the
Yeah, this
bag.
is last year.
He's going to want his bag, and getting rid of
Pittsburgh,
Bosa
for me,
isn't going
then
to give
it's
you that much.
for me. Then it's Pittsburgh all the way. If he goes New Orleans somehow, I couldn't tell you what I'm gonna do. I don't think you want to know what I'm gonna do, but it's not happening. Mason Loomis doesn't deserve that personally. So
He deserves
he
the
deserves
coldest, least
he deserves
accommodating
things
jail
that
cell that ever existed.
he deserves things that can't be said on live television. So
Arrest
give him to Pittsburgh around that $17 million a year for 3 to 4 years. I don't know who he's gonna protect. Maybe it's Aaron Rodgers. Maybe it's some. I couldn't even.
Maybe it's Bootstraps Rudy. You never know.
It's time to give Will Howard a shot in Pittsburgh. It's time.
Honestly, like,
that's the hope.
what's
They
the worst
love
that could happen if
They
they give
love
him
him,
a
man.
shot? Like, genuinely. I'm not even trying to do a bit here. What's the worst that could happen?
Can't get much worse
nothing.
than it's been in Pittsburgh. But you've got a new coach.
The worst that could happen is
Good
Mason Rudolph
exciting.
has to play some football games. That's the worst that can happen.
Actually, that's kind of bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of we don't want that.
Touche.
We don't want that. But I like Will Howard. He deserves a shot. He's a good kid.
He's not bad. Like, honestly, not bad. We have a Steelers fan's opinion here. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for the correction. Thank you for
The
forgot.
correction.
Thank you.
Again,
Thank you.
being
Soon to
correct
be
is
0,
more
So
important
but it's soon to be 0-18, isn't it? Are we going up to 18 games very soon? Is it this season or next season?
don't give the league any ideas. Jesus Christ.
They've already had the idea. Are you kidding?
One
All right,
more game
number
means 5 more
6.
ACLs are torn.
Super
So
Bowl's
if
about
that's
to
the game
be
they
in
want to
May,
play, that's the
folks.
game we can play.
Get ready for May Super Bowls.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
No.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Don't even throw that out there. I don't even want to see that.
Whoa.
No.
Number 6 is a guy who I have never given up on because he's never given up on me, Kyle Pitts,
Oh, here it is.
who I would say there's probably upwards of a 90% chance he's leaving the Falcons. I don't know why. I just don't see him going back. And this, of the 10 guys that I have, he's probably the most interesting in terms of the potential fits. So my top fit for him is, spoiler, the New England Patriots, who are going to almost certainly be moving on from Austin Hooper this offseason. And of course, Hunter Henry's, I think, over 30 now. He did not have a particularly strong postseason run, and his blocking has been
Bad.
Not good. It was really bad, I thought, for the most part this year. Not that Kyle Pitts is like an incredible, like he's not like late career Gronk, you know what I mean? But like, he'd probably be better than Hunter Henry, and he'd be a dynamic downfield threat.
Bigger effort guy.
These other two teams, for the record, one of which is the Philadelphia Eagles, who have both of their top tight ends head into the open market, and we have a team that hasn't had a true tight end in nearly 15 years, and that's the Kansas City Chiefs.
I was waiting for that one.
There it is.
Can you imagine if they had a tight end that could like block and like chip guys like Will Anderson and guys like Myles Garrett off the edge for Patrick Mahomes? Could you imagine that? That'd be crazy. Kyle Pitts, his AAV surprisingly is only $10.8 million per year. I'm kind of surprised by that.
That's a steal to me.
I would fully expect that to be closer to 15 in reality. What say you guys?
I think first of all, at 10, I think you need to have 32 teams in the mix. I think everybody should be in the mix at $10 million for a guy like Kyle Pitts. I think very highly of him. I think he's been very underrated in Atlanta with not a lot of opportunity. So I think that it would be a tremendous steal for anybody at 10. Once you start talking 15, that gets a little bit more realistic to me. At which point, I think it has to be the Chiefs. It has to be Kansas City at this point. You've got to give Mahomes a proper weapon and a proper person to block for you too, right? He can chip off the edge. He's very versatile. So if we're talking solely free agent market, I'm all in on the Kansas City Chiefs. As much as I don't want to see it happen, that's what I see happening. But I believe can't the Falcons franchise tag him still?
I don't know how wise that would be for them. I think the tag deadline is like a week from now, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So they definitely.
It may not be the smartest move, but if I'm the Falcons, I got to try and keep the guy. Like if I have the ability to tag him or offer him the 10 that he might accept, I think you got to go for that. But ultimately the Chiefs are the best fit based on the conversation at hand.
I mean, admittedly, there would be some intrigue for me to see him in a Stefanski offense, but I just feel like he just needs a change of scenery after really 4 years of kind of just doing whatever before this year. So again, we'll see, but I think I would actually be interested to see him in Philly, to be perfectly honest, more so than Kansas City. I think they're gonna let go of Goddard.
Philly's definitely. I've had some conversations with some Phillies fans. They really think Goddard is as good as gone, which hits would be funky. Maybe he would allow Jalen Hurts to throw the ball. Who knows? Probably not. Is what it is on there. I love New England. I really do.
Someone finally says it.
That would be really fun. The things Drake May can do with a weapon like that in the offense with what he already has, that can be really fun. Move Hunter Henry to that tight end 2 spot, which is where he should be in the point of his career. My under the radar move, and if this happens, I would also be really excited. The New York Football Giants. Do they really want to roll out Theo Johnson week 1 as their starting tight end? I don't think they do. Are they going to want to give Jackson Dart possibly another good weapon that could pair along with Neighbors? They probably might want to. It could be fun.
That's actually a fair point because again, they're likely going to lose.
I thought we're going to look about who is actually going to, because when you look at Pitts, yes, he can block, but he's always been like more of an offensive weapon.
Yeah.
Look at teams that are kind of bland in the tight end department. I like New England, and I like New York.
You're kind of sold me on the Giants. I actually could see that now.
Sneaky good, Cy. Sneaky good. I like that.
Thank you guys.
I could actually see
Jackson Dart could have a lot of fun.
Yeah, especially if everyone wants to start rolling out some 12 and 13 out there in New York. I could actually see that.
Because Theo Johnson he can be a great tight end too. He's more of a blocking tight end. Jackson Dart really likes to find him in like the short 5-yard routes in the end zone. But everywhere else, just let Kyle Pitts just go and run crazy.
All right, 4 more to go here. We'll try to be a little quicker with these. I know we're a little past 9 right now. Sai, this is one of your boys who I actually, before I put this up, I figured he was going to be staying. Then I saw some of the teams that had a lot of cap room and had needs at linebacker.
Oh, you're going to...
And I'm like, oh, yeah, he's gone. And that's Devin Lloyd, who is, I would say, a top 5 linebacker in the league now. He had an unbelievable year, especially at the start of the year. He was incredible. He's projected $20.1 million per year. My 3 fits are 3 teams that I think absolutely need to get better at linebacker. You could sell me on any of these 3 teams as a top fit. And those are the Bengals, the Panthers, and the Commanders. Left hand up. Who are we? No one said. I'm very upset. What do we got?
Talking about my boy. I can't do this right now. I still think he's gonna resign. Personally, I'm looking at our depth. Unless they really fall in love with like an outside edge linebacker mold in this year's draft, I still think there's a world where he can get re-signed for 4 or 5 years. Is probably the market.
I think he's getting that anyway.
He's gonna get 4 or 5 years from any team. However, expect that AAV to be closer to 25 than it is 20.
No, I don't see that.
My feeling on him is like maybe 22. Like I don't see the 25.
I think there's a world where someone's going to pay him 25. He's worth more 20, but people are going to really look at what he did this year and be like, okay, well then the track record's not there. That's the only issue. The past couple years he was not great. Jack Wires last offseason had the ability to pick up the 5th year. Had the ability to pick up the option. They're like, no, not want to do that. No, we're not sold on it yet. Then he went crazy this year, which is what this team needed. But we, in theory, looking at our defense, we can go without him. I'm still big on. I think we should resign him. If not, Cincinnati is a layup.
They were really, really bad.
120,000% layup.
Yeah, that's my pick ultimately. I think it's Cincinnati. It just makes the absolute most sense. Makes the most sense. It just everything kind of lines up for Cincinnati based on need, based on talent level, based on expectations, potential. They're not throwing darts in the dark either, right? They know what they're going to get out of this kid. They know what's going to happen. And I think they're also, right, we're talking these almost guaranteed 4 to 5 years. I think the Bengals are more than happy to put that kind of deal together. I don't see it at 25, though. But I do see that, the 20 to 22.
Oh, my God. Don't show Mike Brown those zeros.
Right? I mean, so yeah, I see Cincinnati as being the slam dunk on that one. That's pretty easy.
I think Carolina probably deserves a little more love in this conversation. I think, yeah, clearly it's Cincinnati. I could totally see Washington just be like, we feel good about potentially just getting Sonny Styles in the draft. You guys can knock yourself out.
So I think the Commanders are going through the draft, but I also think the Commanders might be the team stupid enough to kind of go for that 25 mil. If Cy is accurate on that, it would be a team like the Commanders that would take a complete flyer.
At least we can all agree that the Commanders would be the one that does the stupid moves. That makes me feel a little better. But
by the way, I figured I'd bring this up. Anything over $21 million for I say Roquan Smith. Well, actually, he's second most paid linebacker. But anything over $21 million would be a market resetter for Lloyd. So $22 million, I could maybe C actually. 25, no, but 22. I think that's not super
Yeah,
far out.
20.
I feel someone's especially someone's gonna be dumb enough. Not saying that Devin Lloyd isn't worth the value. Someone's gonna be like, yeah, we need to make a statement. We need to make a splash, and that's what they're gonna do.
All right, you know what? Again, all these guys, they're going to be moving around. They're going to be wheeling and dealing, doing moves. They're going to be going halfway across the country to go to their new teams. And every single one of these guys has got to make sure their home insurance is up to date. And that's why we have our boy Jeffrey Tepney and the boys. They're going to keep you up to date with your home insurance.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move, mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent is Building Block Insurance Group. Get a quote today at 704-464-4544.
Erie Insurance.
Again, Jeffrey Tepney saved my life, has to be said. But folks, we're now down to our last three free agents. And this is the last of our three that is with a projected AAV moving forward of 20 or over $20 million a year. And that is Alec Pierce of the Colts. Their fast outside threat. Again, 20.2 on the dot is the AAV. My three fits for him are three teams I think could make some use of him as a downfield target moving forward. First and foremost, the Tennessee Titans, who again can outbid any team. Not exactly a team that I think needs to like go out of their way for a receiver, but if they feel like he's a good fit for what they're trying to do offensively under Dayball, knock yourself out. The Raiders, who definitely need to maybe add some guys at receiver, and again, you're bringing in Mendoza, go give him a downfield, shot getter. And number three, they're going to have to find some cap to do it, but I think he makes sense for them, and that is the Buffalo Bills.
Honestly, I agree with all three. I lean more Tennessee, but that's real. That's a real world. I love all those, honestly.
I lean towards the Raiders only from the perspective that the Raiders tend to make some sort of splash with speed and talent at receiver. They tend to like to go after those guys. I know we're talking a new era of Raiders football, et cetera, but you're starting to look at this like, okay, it kind of makes sense. You're bringing in a guy like Mendoza who can chuck the ball a little bit. Hopefully he can stay upright in that offense long enough to get the ball downfield. But yeah, I like the Raiders on this one. I think the Bills, it's too much of a question mark for cap space, but yeah.
You say it's a new era for the Raiders, but for all we know, Al Davis's spirit is in that stadium. You know that giant torch they have?
Yeah.
He's a pop up from the flames like it's that. What's the name of that one Power Rangers character like the hologram, like the Wizard of Oz? That's
Zordon.
I guarantee it.
Power Rangers, Wizard of Oz. What?
What's your idea?
Boy Zordon. Bill Cranston. Yeah. It's not really a new era of Raiders football. It's just repackaged, I guess. But yeah, I can see it more.
Dude, one or two things differently, call it new. Everything else is the same.
I don't know how they free up the cap to get him, and this is as unbiasedly as I can say it. I actually think there's a good avenue to get him on the Bills and him having a lot of success. That's why I think he'd probably have the best run with. I just don't know if they're going to A, be interested, B, have enough money to outbid a team like, again, it's Buffalo versus the two teams with the most cap in the league. So it's like, what can they really do?
Which at that point, then you're talking about, are you chasing trophies or are you chasing money? And then you have to make your decision based on that. Most guys in this day and age are definitely chasing the money. So, I think that's where the Bills lose out on this deal.
Yeah.
MUNIL. No, I'm kidding. All right. Number 9, this is another offensive lineman, right tackle Braden Smith of the Indianapolis Colts. Again, who's had some injury woes. I think he's missed 16 games total these last 3 seasons, which makes the AAV of $13.5 million per Spotrac a little more interesting. But I'll give you 3 options. One is the aforementioned Browns that we're talking about with the offensive line. I think they make a ton of sense for obvious reasons. The Raiders, who I would say are good at left tackle, right tackle, not so much. And the third one's kind of a sleeper. I don't know if they will do this, but I think they should at least be interested. the Atlanta Falcons.
Neither of which, none of those were the ones that was the one that I was thinking of. So I was waiting on you to say. I know it's a stretch too, but I feel like the Houston Texans might be in the mix on this one. Kind of a sleeper team for this, but I see it as one being a good fit, and two, they have to try and keep CJ Stroud upright. They have to try and find him maybe a half more second in the pocket. So I think maybe kind of a redemption deal, maybe kind of willing to take that kind of risk at this point. I think to me, Houston makes a ton of sense. But yeah, I guess the Raiders would make the second most amount of sense just based on cap space, right? If we're talking cap, you got to lean Raiders.
I have another sleeper. If we're going to talk about a team that was like banged up and needs to keep their quarterback healthy, San Francisco 49ers. Who knows how much longer Trent Williams is going to be doing it. Honestly, I couldn't tell you who's on the other side of Trent Williams, and that's hand up accountability on my end. But I'm more looking at that AAV around 13. That's something that the 49ers could afford. Yes, they'll see the injury history. They'll be like, okay. But honestly,
I feel like with the injury history, like they're like he's like the worst
he kind of fits right in. What all they want to do.
No, when you're right, so.
So that's my sleeper. But again, makes plenty of sense if Vegas just goes and throws like $16 million a year at him and be like, all right, come protect Fernando.
Yeah.
Right. And last but not least is another pass rusher who was traded at the deadline, Odafe Owe, who went from the Ravens to the Chargers. And ironically enough, take a wild guess who his best team fit is.
I wonder.
The Baltimore Ravens.
I wonder
who traded him away.
I wonder why.
There's a universe where they get both of the guys involved in that Alohi Gilman for Owe trade, and then get the best coach, or get the next head coach from the team they traded him to. To me, that's very funny, objectively.
They would do it though. They would do it though.
It almost seems on brand for the Ravens too.
I think you see that in baseball every once in a while. Like a team will trade a guy, and then he just comes back the next season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know the Red Sox tried that with Lester back in like 2014 and they moved them to the A's, and that didn't work out. But here, it could. The other two teams I'll give you, the Titans, again, kind of for the same reasons that I had the other pass rushers as likely destinations for them. And the Raiders as another team who I think could use him on the opposite side of the
team. It's almost like...
Listen, cash is king. Cash is king.
And those teams need a ton of help. So, I mean, it makes sense that they keep popping up in this conversation. So
because they're bound to get one of them.
Right. And that's kind of where I'm leaning, right? So, like, if the Raiders don't get A, B, then we're talking C, right? And then maybe you get a slightly better deal on that. But, yeah, I mean, I guess just for the sake of conversation, I'll go with the Titans getting him.
Give me the Ravens because, one, it's funny, two, he actually had a really good stint with them and Jesse Minter, so I would not be surprised if he's just like,
did they part ways amicably, or what was the deal with that? I mean,
so he got traded to the Chargers in a 1-for-1 swap for Alohi Gilman, and then this will be him going back to Baltimore with Minter essentially.
Okay, I mean, objectively, it makes sense and it makes for good TV. So maybe. I guess I could see that happening.
I'm just waiting for the graphic to welcome back. Like nothing happened.
Welcome home. Yeah, it's just the right.
Yeah, we traded you for a safety. Yeah, we don't got to talk about that.
Yeah, well, one swap. No,
we don't speak. We don't speak about that one.
We don't.
I believe that will do it. Do we have any plugs? Do either of you guys have any plugs for anything?
Nah, I'll do my plug next week. I already did my plug earlier, but just pay attention to the program, guys. We'll be at the combine. We're gonna talk to some guys. We're gonna ideally talk to some big name guys. We're gonna reconnect with some friends of the program that we met down in Mobile.
Mason? No, I'm kidding.
No, but Alex actually gonna be there, and that's the big one. That's the big one I get to go reconnect with. So,
yes, sir.
I'm gonna go see what media people. I'm actually objectively gonna try to meet a lot more like the big name media people, like because they do their shows where they do the interviews. So I'm just gonna like walk in the frame, just be like, "What's up, guys?" Like, How we doing, guys?
Right. If you
Go
meet
meet-
Brian Baldinger, you give him the firmest handshake you ever given anybody
I
in your
will.
entire life.
I'm gonna go jump on Pat McAfee's back. Pat McAfee, if you're for some reason watching this, just know it's gonna happen. You're gonna give me a piggyback ride, and it's gonna be great.
I feel like we're getting monitored now because you said that.
I hope
Right.
so. Honestly, if I get it. Hey, my handle's right there. If I get a DM, well, no, I don't know why.
I guess I got a couple plugs before we get out of here. Mansour Delane scouting report just went up on ThirdDownThursdays.com. Check that out. Spoiler, really good corner. We also just started a new wrestling write-up series where we're going over some matches, a classic and a modern. And I have part 2 pretty much 99% of the way done. That'll be up on Monday. We're going to Noah, brother. We're going to the Budokan in 2005 for the retro match.
Ooh.
And a match from a couple weeks ago in Kirk and Hall in Noah. That was, it was a wrestling match. I'll say that. It involved Tetsuya Naito. And it happened. Was it good? That's up for you to decide. No, it wasn't. But boys, that's gonna do it for us this week. Thank you for tuning in. If you're on the YouTube side of things, hit the like button and subscribe. Helps us in the algorithm. And we'll see you next week. And on the way out, we're gonna send you to our the big man with the place cards, if you will. And we'll see you next week.